to do in life without a compromise. And that's what everybody should damn well do.
Do you think there's going to be a change with that in the future? Do you think? Because at the moment, I know a lot of guys that have gone to uni, they've got degrees, they've worked their asses off for years, and they can't get jobs in their profession. You know, they end up working, you know, retail jobs and stuff.
Yeah,
like
I
that.
think it's going to change. You're going to have so many qualified people that are out of work. In the end, the only thing positive that we can glean out of it is sort of green collectivism. And by this, I mean, we have to look at philosophers such as Epicurus, who stipulated that if we do tend the garden for a couple of hours each day so that we have a consistent, sustainable food supply, the rest of our time should be spent eating, drinking, and focusing on the arts and other pleasures. You know, and I kind of agree with this. This is the kind of modern-day counterculture philosophy, really. And I would advise as many people as possible to think along these lines. Collectivism. I don't mean Marxism. I mean, you know, for example, when I was 22, we were coming into Geneva in Switzerland, and the promoter said to us, well, you can either stay at the Hilton Hotel, or we can put you in a 7-bedroom farmhouse, and this couple will cook for you. So we took the latter option, and we had such a good night and a great gig, and we partied all night in this wonderful Swiss house. And the next day, I said to this couple, can I come back to your wonderful house to do some writing and composing? This is when I was 22, and they invited me back very kindly. And of course, when I got back to this house after a European tour, the rest of the band were there. They'd done the same thing. So a new era began where we got sort of Swiss girlfriends, and of course I've got a 30-year-old Swiss daughter now who I adore. And ironically, I still live for part of the year in the same room in the same house, and it's a collective. You know, I only have to cook one night a week because the other 6 people in the house take it in turns to cook one night a week, and we consider we've got our own garden, and it's a collective. And that's what I want to get my place in New Zealand running along the same lines. I believe in this. Yeah, ultimately, I'm a communist, you could say, devoid of Marx, Karl Marx, devoid of him. You know, Killing Joke as a microcosm of a wider world, I mean, we've got such diverse opinions, and we're 4 alpha males. The only conclusion I can come to after almost 4 decades is that communism works.
Hey guys, just want to take a minute to give a shout out to our podcast supporters, RW Promotion, who are the best in the business when it comes to printing posters, flyers, banners, badges, business cards, you name it. They've got what it takes to help you get everything you need to help spread the word about your band or business. And with a blistering turnaround, they'll make sure you get your product ASAP. So get in touch with Richard and the team at www.rwpromotion.com.au or shoot them an email at info@rwpromotion.com.au. Also want to give a shout out to the guys at Blacklight Art and Design, who in my opinion are the Gold Coast best screen printers. So, you know, we've gotten many band shirts and even our own Rabid Noise shirts done through these guys, and they've also got one of the fastest turnarounds I've ever seen. So all quality prints at competitive prices. So whether it's band merchandise, sporting teams, promotional garments or workwear, you know, they've got you covered. So hit them up at www.blacklightad.com.au or email them at info@blacklightad.com.au. So big thanks to those guys for helping us to bring you this podcast each and every week, and for, of course, supporting the metal scene. So now it's back to Rabid Noise.
And we're back with Jaz Coleman from Killing Joke. Now, when it comes to playing live, you absolute unit. You guys are so tight. Like, there's bands that are half that just can't hold up. I was just absolutely blown away, especially your voice as well, man. Like, it just absolutely shook the room. Like, what's the trick there? Is it? You know, you guys just have such a great chemistry.
Yeah, the chemistry's the thing. You know, it's just a weird chemistry, the way we rub and clash with each other, and just the personalities. It makes this sound. I don't really know about that. Again, I'd say that the most important things I've learned in life are to exercise regularly and nourish your body properly.
So no more McDonald's and stuff, huh?
No. You know, we have to... Look, I was just reading the paper yesterday, and they're saying that, you know, processed meats and red meats are more dangerous than smoking 20 cigarettes a day. Crikey. Huh?
Yeah.
Danger's everywhere there. So we have to learn about nutrition. And it's very, very important to nourish your body. They say that the baby boomers are going to live a lot longer than the next generation, which is a shame because we don't want a population of old people. I stopped drinking about 8 or 9 years ago, and I got into boxing and working out regularly, and it gives me so much more energy. And one of the things it did for me is it helped me combat depression. And I'm not alone there again, like I say. 1 in 5 people suffer from depression. But I had really terrible anxieties. And when I stopped booze and I started exercising, the depression went, and that depression lasted for 25 years, I might add. So, I mean, there's things that we can do to sort of lift our spirits, you know. Being with, like, other achievers, other like-minded individuals, these things lift your spirits as well, you know. Generally speaking, in spite of all the problems in the world, the band and myself, we remain largely optimistic.
You know, you're talking about, you know, your battle with depression. You know, there's a lot of people I know that go through that as well. And you're saying, you know, exercise. If you don't mind me asking, you know, did you find that with that medication helped as well, or just purely just exercise and living right? No. I had one period in about sort of 2004 where I became addicted to anti-anxiety pills. It was terrible. And it took me 2 years being with an expert to get off this addiction. So now I don't take anything to sleep, which is why I sleep intensely for about 2 or 3 hours. Then I wake up, I go to the back of the bus, and yes, there's Geordie and Youth. They do the same thing too. So we stay up and talk. You know, I don't need an awful lot of sleep. I've got a lot of energy, and I've just learned to accept it. What is different now is I don't have the terrible fear and anxiety attacks that I had for so many years. You know, that is incredibly inspiring. You know, as someone who, you know, on a daily basis, I battle it myself. So, as I said, a lot of friends, you know, so that is incredibly inspiring to hear when, you know, guys like yourself, you know, speak out about that and share your story.
And always remember, in spite of all the problems in the world, just remember all the good people out there. You know, all the smiling faces and the people who are kind. There you go. You look for the good and you will find the good. My mother always used to say this to me. I thought it was some stupid cliche until I actually put it into practice. If you look for the good, you will find the good.
You know, in saying that, man, I've always found, you know, I've heard stories and I've met you once in Brisbane. You're incredibly gracious with your fans. You know, even the ones that come with you with an armful of stuff to sign. You know, you always keep you cool with those guys. You always seem really patient. So,
you know, like Paul Raven said once, he says, I love people, and I have to confess I do too. You know, all these wonderful, kind people that we get to meet here, and I feel so privileged with my career. And I genuinely try to spend as much time as I can with the people that keep us alive.
Well, man, your fans definitely appreciate it. I tell you, because I mean, there's heaps of bands out there that just get in the van and piss off, you know, and leave their fans out in the rain and the cold. But you know, it's always appreciated when guys like yourself, you know, with you know, you play a show, you know, you burn all that energy, and you probably just want to sit down and, you know, but you go out.
Well, no, we've always had the kind of open dressing room policy after a show, and you know, it was only spoiled on one occasion in Canada where we got robbed. But
really?
Generally, looking back over the last 38 years, people have been really respectful, and we have a tradition also that if you want to meet us, you come to sound check, and we leave the doors open, and people can join us and say hello, and it's really not hard to get backstage at a Killing Joke concert, really.
Now you've said that, there's probably you're gonna have all these people waiting. That's awesome.
Well, no, of course they can have to wait there too, but it's a nice thing to meet people after the show. I love it.
Yeah,
I love it. You know, and before the show as well. When we hire a concert hall to play in, from my perspective, we're going to have a party from the time that we get in there until the time we leave.
Definitely is a party, man. I've seen you once in Brisbane, and it's like still hands down one of the best shows I've ever seen in my life. Like,
we'll do better next time. We're coming to Australia next year, all being well. Which is to say, I'm probably looking at October, November next year, coming to doing an Australian tour, and of course New Zealand as well. So I look forward to seeing you again at the little club in Brisbane.
What was the Hi-Fi? It used to be called the Hi-Fi. It's called Max Watts now. They've just had
that
name
was a
change.
great club. I really like that place. A really nice place there, and you know, I got to meet people I hadn't seen for. That's the wonderful thing about Killing Joke. You meet lots of new people who are like, my God, less than half your age, and then you get people who've been with you since 1979, old faces, and it's wonderful. It's a wonderful thing. It's funny actually, because last time I went to Sydney, I wanted to discover this great mystery because, you know, when I used to drink, I always used to end up in this one bar that had all these incredible pictures on the wall and the piano, and I never knew where the bar was. But every time I used to get fucked up, I always used to end up there. And this was on for about 20 years. And I couldn't work out where this bar was until I realised the hotel they'd been putting me in for all these years, the bar was underneath the hotel.
Did you find it? Which hotel was that?
Yeah.
Do you remember what it was called?
Oh, God, it was, I think it was the Sybil Townhouse. I don't think it's there now. Yeah. But, look, I'm looking forward to coming back. I've got 200 gigs ahead of me.
That's a lot, man. That's a lot.
Yeah, it's exciting. The thing is, you won't turn into a fat bastard. You've got to look at the bright side of it. You know, when you do 2 hours burnout with Killing Joke every day, you kind of, you get your cardio in, and it keeps you in good shape, you know. Yeah, well, so, you know, I still, you know, I like smoking cigars once in a while, but you can't smoke anything when you're singing. So you have to look after your voice, and it's really not the sex, drugs, rock and roll thing that people think it is. It's about basically maximizing your energy at a 2 hour point sometime every day. And this takes a bit of doing. But I love it. I get off on it. What a thrill. I mean, I really, really get off on it. When Killing Joke locks in, we are in such a euphoric state. It's incredible. It's mind-expanding. It's an incredible, exhilarating experience, and I am completely addicted.
It's so we, man. Talking about euphoric state, there's that new single that I believe has come out, Euphoria, off Pylon.
I love it.
Oh, man.
I love it. And we're playing it live as well. I love it. You know, I love it. It's kind of, you know, it's got a dark side, but then there's, as you can hear on the album with Big Buzz and Euphoria, there's also this uplifting side to Killing Joke that fills one with a sense of kind of mystery and gratitude, I don't know, all together. And, yeah, I feel we've really tapped into it on this record, and it just goes to show most things are possible. So no, I'm in good spirits about